Thanks for tuning in to the Urban Scope podcast. I'm back with another boxing topic. Now, after Canelo's loss to Terrence Crawford, he said that interesting statement that Terrence Crawford is better than Mayweather. I'm assuming he meant in the boxing realm, but is Canelo being a prisoner of the moment, or is there validity to what he's saying? Now, of course, this is a hypothetical scenario, but style makes fights, and time periods and eras do make the difference, but who is the better boxer in terms of greatness? Now, of course, Crawford has the more power. He has the more excitability. He has, all of those things, but Mayweather's probably still more box office just off of the impact of the hype that he has before the fight. Crawford is not a big talker like Mayweather is, and he doesn't have that bravado or braggadocio that is Mayweather. The way that he can sell a fight and the businessman that he is, Terrence Crawford is not that, or at least of what we've seen. His biggest fight to date was that um, Canelo fight. Mayweather's probably biggest fight wasn't Canelo's. It probably was, it was of course, it was the Pac-Man fight, the Manny Pacquiao fight. So Mayweather has many classic moments as far as box office hits and bringing in sales and things like that. But in terms of boxing, Crawford is not flashy, but he gets the job done. Mayweather, you can say that about him too as well, because he's never known as a puncher. He was fast. He was very defensive, the best defensive fighter that I've ever seen. I know some people want to say Pernell Whitaker, but I really didn't see him fight, at least in his era. But Mayweather's power was always underrated, though, because people didn't walk through his punches, or just, people were shocked when they fought Mayweather because they didn't know what to expect. It was the biggest stage usually that they had been on. So it was just a whole aura of Mayweather that created him into this great boxer as well. Not only just because his gift and his skill, and they said that his greatest skill was his conditioning, because he really didn't get tired. Well, other fighters got tired when he take you into those later rounds. So he take you into the later rounds, you're getting tired, and he would just tee off on you. Now, they compared him to a pitcher in baseball. If you don't get him within the first couple of innings, you lost it, because at that point he's going to heat up, and then you're not going to be able to stop him. And that's what Mayweather brought to fighting. And his fight against Corrales and Torre Gatti was some of the, was equal to, the fight that Crawford had against Spence. Now, the Torre Gatti fight, rest in peace to Torre Gatti, um, was crazy. Like, he couldn't knock out Gaddy, but he was damaging him pretty bad. They had to stop the fight, and it was one of the best offensive exhibitions that you ever seen from Mayweather, that I've ever seen. Just pure dominant, and even Diego Corrales fight, they stopped that fight as well. He fought Mayweather fought a taller fighter, but he was just outsmarting him, outboxing him, and rest in peace to Diego Corrales as well. But his hooks and how fast he was in his prime around this time. He wasn't really knocking people out, but he was definitely causing a lot of damage where the corner had to stop the fight just to protect their fighters. But Crawford is been, um, has a stronger chin, I think. He hasn't really been hurt to the point that a Mayweather has. When Mayweather got hit against Maidana at the end of that round, the way he got hit against Sugar Shane Mosley, um, he's been hurt in different ways. But Mayweather, nevertheless, Crawford has been exceptionally dominant in that way, that he's really never been hurt or really even been challenged for that part. I know he had, before this Canelo fight, he had a mediocre fight against the guy before him, but uh, for the most part, it's not much bad things you can say about Crawford. And he's just starting to heat up. I mean, he's later in his boxing career, but it doesn't even feel like it. Um, but Mayweather just did different things as far as them being a boxer. He was just making boxing relevant after Tyson retired, because people didn't know where it was going to go, and Mayweather picked up where Tyson left off without a hitch. He was able to do that, similar to when Jordan retired and Kobe had it, and Kobe was on the end. LeBron took it over. So it was one of those type of situations. But as far as greatest fighters, I think Mayweather did duck some fights. He ducked Pacquiao when he was in his prime, and then fight him after Pacquiao got knocked out by Marquez. Um, but I don't think but I think Mayweather could have held his own against anybody in his time. and he was just too tough to hit. So I think if you want to say the better boxer, I want to say Mayweather just because of the totality of it, because he was defensive and he had some offense, early in his career, but nobody really could stop him or get to him. Now, boxing is just more than offense, it's defense too. So I think he had all of that. So I do think if Mayweather fought Crawford, I think Mayweather would have figured out Crawford and Crawford wouldn't have been able to stop him. Even though Mayweather's a way smaller man, I think that Floyd is just so smart and cunning when it comes in that boxing ring that nobody could really have stopped him unless he had to go up to, you know, 3 weight classes for somebody to stop him just because he would just been too small as a fighter. But I do think that, um, Mayweather would have came out on top, of course, by points. He wasn't gonna knock Crawford out, and I don't think Crawford would have knocked him out similar to what, the Canelo fight was. But tell me what your thoughts about Canelo's statements, and do you think there's validity to it or just Canelo's being a prisoner of the moment? Until next time, I'll see you next time.